Hello everyone, I'm Jay, your host at Everything Cloud Platform. Welcome to this session on running Grafana in GCE, Google Compute Engine. This session is an extension of the Observability Basics session, where we implemented some key concepts around observability like golden signals, SLIs, SLOs, and error budgets. If you're working for a client that needs a third-party tooling, not GCP native, the third-party tooling, this session is going to help you get ready for that kind of a requirement. Grafana is what we'll be using as the third-party monitoring tool here, but similar concepts and similar modus operandi will be applied to the other tools if you decide to go with any other tool as well. So let's dive right in. Here are the sequence of steps that we'll be following as we go through this session. We'll check the current state of our server. Everything all right, running well, and everything. So we'll check the current state. Install Grafana on the same server. So we know that our Apache server, web server is running on that on the VM Debian machine that we have created. We'll install Grafana on the same server. We will validate Grafana server. So although on a different ports, just keep in mind, and you'll see some of those nuances. The web server is running on port 80. We'll expose Grafana on a different port. So that's how a single server will be able to host different applications. We'll then, once the Grafana server is up, we'll configure data sources like monitoring and logging from GCP, so that Grafana is able to get the data from our GCP console. We'll review some out-of-the-box Grafana dashboards that are available. Like I said in the previous video as well, no need to reinvent the wheel. What is available for you is just go use it per your requirements. And finally, we'll implement golden signals dashboard, similar to what we built in the Observability Basics session in GCP native tooling. We'll build more or less the same charts using the same metrics, same log-based metrics that we created in the previous video. We'll use the same to create the golden signals dashboard. Let's start with validating the current state of our Debian server that we have been using so far. I'll navigate to the Compute Engine VMs page. Just take a quick peek at our server that it's running fine. All is good. I'll copy this external IP and hit the server. Everything is running fine. We look at our load test. That's still running. We are at iteration 9604. That will soon change. Yeah, that's 9605. So it's running and it's inducing errors as well, as we did in our last video. So let this run so that we have traffic on the side. And take a quick peek at the current state of our connection to the GCP account from our machine. So if I do a gcloud config list, I should see that I'm in the right account, I'm in the right project, everything is fine. We'll try and pull the machine from here as well. Yeah, I see my VM Debian running. So everything is good so far. Take a quick peek at some of the logging information, the golden signals dashboard that we built in the last video. Let's take a quick peek at that as well, because I think that is showing a lot of data now, because our load test has been running consistently. So let me just open this, look at our golden signals dashboard, and look at these 4 golden signals that we built in the previous Observability Basics session. Yeah, we are seeing some volume. Yeah, this volume is down because, of course, the laptop was not up and not connected. Hence, you're not seeing a lot of volume, but you're seeing volume pick back up. So this is showing the real stats on the server. So everything is good. We are now good to go ahead and install Grafana on the same server. Let's SSH into the server on both sides. Now I have an alias written, so that's what I'll start using now. GSSH VM Debian, and that'll get me into there. That's basically running the gcloud compute SSH command. Navigate to Grafana official page for the installation steps. And your OS is, so these steps are OS specific. our server is Debian, so we'll follow these steps. So all of these steps are clearly listed down, and we'll just follow these steps. Now, before we start following these steps, let's do this. We want to open up journal.ctl in the follow mode so that we are going to be actively seeing everything that's going on here. So as we install, we will see actions happening here. So maybe the first step is to install the prerequisite packages. I'll just copy the command and I'll paste it here. Let it start executing all the commands, and we'll go from there. The next step is around importing the GPG key, and we will see that. Okay, so that step completed. That's now importing the GPG key install needs two statements here. So that is one, and the second command is wget. All right, so we got that one as in. Now we'll need to add a repo for stable releases, and this is the command for that. And we'll need another repo for beta releases, and we'll do that as well. Now at this point, we'll go ahead and update the list of available packages. We'll do this. Let this install. All right, let's go ahead and install Grafana now. Now this is installing, and say yes here. While this is installing, take a quick peek at these. These were the steps that I ran. So nothing from my own. All these steps are clearly listed down on this page, and that's exactly what we did. We are at this step right now. Let's see where we are. Okay, all right, that is complete. Now just validate the status of the Grafana server service. Let's do a quick status. Yeah, this is not started yet, so let's see what we need to do to get it up and running. You see this start Grafana page here. We'll just follow this. We'll follow the Linux steps to start the Grafana server. Well, first we will do this system reload. Let's do this. All right, that's done. We will then follow our systemctl again to start the Grafana server, and then we will look at the status again. Let's do a status again anyways. It's still inactive. Of course, we did not start it yet, so we want to start this. Now if I look at the status, take a look at this. This is active and running. Now after starting, we want to be able to sign in to Grafana. To sign in, the steps are basically it runs on port 3000, and this is saying localhost if you are just signing in from the same server you are in, but we are going to be hitting it from our browser. So our host is this. I should be able to do something like this and hit the port 3000, but that does not work. And I should be able to say, let's try it from the terminal here. Let's exit out of this window here. I'm back at my laptop now. If I do a ping to my server, I should be able to ping successfully, right? The server is up and running, we know that. If I do a curl to our server, that runs our Apache web server. That's running fine. If I do a curl on 3000 where our Grafana server is running, that's not accessible. I'll pause the video here for you to think about what might be the issue here. The issue is there's no firewall rule that allows traffic to port 3000. Remember when you refer the original video when we created this VM Debian machine, we opened up ports 80 and 443 for HTTP and HTTPS traffic from everywhere, but we did not do anything to open the traffic to port 3000. That's what we will do now. All right, so let's go here in networks, firewall. I'm talking about this rule that we created. So we'll go ahead and edit this rule to allow traffic to port 3000 as well. If I include port 3000 here as well, basically you are saying now I am going to be allowing traffic to port 3000 as well. Let the firewall rule get updated, and then we will retest our connection to this. All right, so I think the rule has updated. Now I'll go back here, I'll do a clear on this, I'll do the same curl. Now you got this. That is telling you you found the /login. Now what we'll do is in our browser we do a /login on that URL, and that should take us to signing into Grafana. Let me do that here, and I'll do a login. Boom, there you go. Our Grafana server is up and running. By default, the email and password, and you will find all of that information in the documentation. If I do an admin, I log in. I will be able to log in. It's saying update your password. We'll just skip that. Let it stay admin. We'll just go over. I'll say save. You are in Grafana. Before we go about setting up dashboards, Grafana will need to be able to get the data to build dashboards based on. Right. If I go over dashboards, there is nothing. There is no data source yet. So what we need to do is we'll need to provide a connection to our GCP console monitoring. Now, before we go about doing that, take a quick peek at all the data sources that Grafana supports. This is a powerful tool. You think about any tool, cloud provider out there, or even CSV files for that matter. This is Amazon. I see Azure as well. Of course, we are working with Google already here. There are tons of databases and data sources that it can connect to. I'm seeing Jira, Jaeger, Kafka. There are a bunch. So this supports all of it. What we will do is we will look at Google Cloud Monitoring as our resource. That's the guy we want. Now, for us to be able to set this connection up, we will say add new data source. Now, we will call this, say, GCP monitoring. Let's just say that. Now you'll need the JWT file. Basically, you'll need this JWT file for authentication, because Grafana will need to be able to connect and tap into our logging and monitoring information from the from your GCP account, right? This will need that JWT file. Now this is basically a service account token that you can generate from your GCP account. Now be careful with this, because once you download that key, and I'll walk you through that process now. Navigate to IAM section and navigate to policy accounts, service accounts from here. In service accounts, look for the only service account that we have been using is our compute default. And pro tip, in your production environments, the compute default is not a good way to go about doing anything at all. You will need to have your custom service accounts with the least privilege accesses and so on and so forth. This is for demo purposes and not a production environment. This compute service account has a lot of permissions, lot of access permissions, and this is not good for production. Just throwing that out there. Be careful with doing what we are going to do here. This account has a lot of access permissions, and the keys that we are going to do, like we'll be creating a new key here. This is the JSON key that we are going to be needing. Now this has been downloaded on my computer. Everything that we are doing here is a security, privacy. This will raise all kinds of alarms and bells and whistles from security standpoint. Be very careful with performing anything like this in your production environment. Follow your security policies and do what is appropriate for what is the right way of doing it in the production environment you are in. I have the file sitting, the JSON key for the compute default service account sitting in my downloads folder. I will just go ahead and browse. my downloads folder, look for the file called Code Garage. Let me date added. Yep, now I'll see that on the top. That's the file. Let's provide that. Yep, so that pulls all the information. Just do a save and test, and this should just work fine. So successfully queried the Google Cloud Monitoring API. Our connection is up and running. We just now we have this. Take a quick peek at the dashboards. So what we'll do is we'll enable a couple from here. We'll enable this guy, and we'll import one more VM related dashboard. Maybe we'll just go with GCE network monitoring. We'll import this guy. So these two are these are available out of the box, if you will. You don't need to really do anything for these. So these are available by default. Let's just star the two that we just imported. Let's take a quick peek at this and then mark it as just star it, and then I will go back on the same page and star the other one as well. I'll go in GCE network monitoring. I'll star those as well. Now if you look at your starred dashboards, these two are sitting in here. Now let's see what kind of information do we have available in there. So I'll open the networking one. Now see all this information. These are saturation metrics. If you think about our golden signals, the saturation metrics are just coming directly over here. You really don't need to do anything. Let me go ahead and look at the other one as well. And that one is in our starred dashboards. Yes, and I'll look at the VM instance monitoring. Yeah, look at the CPU utilization. Yeah, all of that is just available. So this has just started capturing here, right? So you will see as the time passes, you will see more information in here. But this is all the saturation metrics are available right here. At this point, and just take a quick look at the monitoring and logging and observability information within the GCP console as well. So navigate to your monitoring dashboards. Remember, we have our golden signals and two other dashboards that we marked, that we starred at the start. So look at these. I'll just open all three of them. I think you should take a quick look at all three of them and see if there is anything changing, any new information that you see with Grafana now running on the same server, right? This is your instance monitoring. Let's see if there is any change in any kind of trend on this one here. Not a lot, maybe right, this one we saw some spike because as we added Grafana at this point. So you're seeing some spikes here that are telling you that something changed within the server. Look at our golden signals dashboard. This is mostly specific to our Apache access. So this should not see any change with Grafana getting added, right? Because this is all Apache based, Apache server based traffic. So nothing really here. But here you will see some changes in here. You see the memory going up here. This is like last 1 hour. Yeah, this is shooting up because now we have Grafana running as well. Right, so there is something. Yeah, this as well, that has changed right at this time as we started Grafana in, right? So that is also telling you something has changed here. At this point, also take a quick peek at some of the logging information. Let's see if we see any logs that are specific to Grafana here. Now, there are a lot of logs here. I see some of these entries that are Grafana related. So let's exclude our Apache logs from our filter. So let me add this in the filter. And let me exclude the Apache access logs. So I'll say hide matching entries. So now it is only showing me everything other than Apache access, which should be mostly all, Debian or anything other, everything else going on the server. So you see a lot of Grafana related activity here that we have been doing with installing Grafana, and then now Grafana dashboard had started querying the monitoring, right? So you will see all of those relevant logs here. So far, we just added Google Cloud Monitoring. We got to add Google Cloud Logging as well as a data source. So we go to connections and we look for, say, logging. That's Google Cloud Logging. Now, by default, it's not available. We'll need to just install that plugin and that'll get installed on its own. Now it's available as a data source. Add new data source. And say if I do cloud logging, there you go. We have the cloud logging. Now here as well, we will need the same JWT file. So use the same file that you downloaded earlier. So I will just go ahead and go add that from my downloaded. And let's just test this, and this should work fine because it's the same JWT token that we are using to connect to the logging source, and it's testing. Let's see if that completes successfully, and it completed successfully. After making the logging data source available, we should now be able to build the dashboards that are based on that are using the log based matrix that we created. So what we'll do is I have my JSON file ready that can be readily imported here. What I'll do is I'll go to say dashboards, and I will create a new dashboard, and I will say import, and I want to import from a JSON file, and the JSON file this is the JSON file that I'm going to upload, right? And if I just say import, boom. So that's the same charts that we created in the GCP native tooling. That's our traffic Apache default metric. That's traffic based on the log based metrics, like those are the good requests, and these are the bad requests, right? The errors, the 404s. And this is our CPU utilization coming right from the instance CPU utilization metric, and this is coming from our request latency. Look at this user here. Look at the user. These are our log based metrics. If you take a quick peek at one of these, let's edit this and see how we have used the matrix here in that JSON that we imported. We use logging, and look at this metric. This is the log based metric that we created, good requests. That's what is showing up there. And in the next query, you have the bad request. That's what it's showing up here. And look at say this one. This is, if I edit this, you will recognize that this is the same metric that we have used in our GCP native dashboard that we created. This is the logging agent API request count. That's what is giving us the Apache default metric. Take a quick peek at our golden signals dashboard. The numbers are, if I look at say last 1 day, 24 hours metric. Look at and feel of the chart. Just feel them. They are like exactly similar trend that you are seeing. This is 6 hours. Let me make it last 24 hours. The 1 day is more or less the same. This and this is our golden signal, right? So exactly the same data. That brings us to the end of our session. Here's the recap. We validated our server health. We then installed Grafana following the instructions from the official Grafana website. We validated our Grafana server. We configured data sources, monitoring and logging both. We reviewed the out-of-the-box Grafana dashboards that are available out there. We then implemented the Golden Signals dashboard. Well, that brings us to the end of this video on running Grafana on GCE. If you like the content, please do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon to get notifications when new videos are posted. If you are genuinely interested in learning all the foundational skills we have been looking at the Everything Cloud platform, stick around and watch and follow along as all the videos are posted. I'm sure you had a wonderful time in this video, and I'll see you in the next session.